And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful, beautiful day. Today is August the 12th at 5:36 in the morning. How are you doing? So, here's the thing. I'm thinking about renaming this podcast, but here's the difficulty. All right. Mostly everything that you do in life, whether it's physically with your body or verbally or you write it out, it's all communication. And I truly don't feel like I am reaching the group of people that I'm trying to reach the most. And as most, I'm not just one thing, but I'm a sum of my whole parts. Meaning, I'm thinking about labeling it psychological warfare, Christian, soldier, comedian. And here's the reason why. You know, as I just said, communication, okay, it's everything that you do. But ironically enough, even though everybody does it, most people suck. It takes people that are professional comedians maybe like 2 years to come up with 1 hour of a good conversation to make people laugh consistently. And not just that, have it be diverse and have a unique edge or something like that. If you've known your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, your best friend, doesn't matter who or what, okay, for 10 years, even though they know you, you could say something that's direct, that's like a direct message of what you want to communicate. But if you don't say it in the right tone, okay, then they could think that you don't mean it, you're being sarcastic and something like that. Communication is like the most difficult thing in the world, more than anything else. But then again, like, the reason why communication, and this is common sense, but I'm still going to say it out loud, the reason why communication is the number one most difficult thing in the world is because with the way that I say it and the way that I intend for you to interpret it, my biggest effort has to lie in framing it as best as I possibly can so you interpret it the way that I want you to interpret it. You know what I mean? So if you want to have somebody be sarcastic, you say something over the top and maybe you change the tone. You know what I mean? That's the reason I don't like text messaging, because like you don't ever get sarcasm and I give a lot of sarcastic response. So I leave like audio messages. I'll just like put the little button on a text message and I'll record an audio and I'll send it. It's the best. That's a whole other conversation though. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, that's a really great idea. You should do that. That sounds fantastic. Any better idea would just be a completely different idea. You know what I mean? I'm just giving an example or whatever. But, you know, I talked to someone the other day and they said, what's your podcast about? And I said, well, you know, it's not really about any one thing aside from the expression of my inner thoughts on my rise to do comedy, and through that professionally, right, as a professional comedian. But during my expression of this, you know, as I'm saying, as all of this stuff is happening, I might have something happen with my girl, with my car, you know, a great day in comedy, something having to do with jiu-jitsu. I'm on my way to do jiu-jitsu right now. I'm wearing a rash guard. I'm on my way up there, up to this gym real quick, right? So, yeah, I feel like there's a certain, like, you know what makes what I really love about Joe Rogan's podcast? It's not necessarily, it's actually specifically that it's not about any one specific thing. But he's so popular, he can literally have a no-theme podcast. And I'm trying to narrow in the net of not just listeners, but people that would want to listen. You know what I mean? Because my podcast, I mean, like, more than anything else, I'm always talking about your thoughts, about how your thoughts drive your mind, about how You know, whether it's word order of a joke or, you know, it doesn't necessarily have a theme, but if it did, it would first be psychological warfare. It would be how to essentially communicate and not just battling yourself to do better and battling other people's perceptions so that they see you the way that you want to be seen, okay? But effectively communicating to do all the above. Because if you have the right mentality, okay, if you say the right words, but you don't say it in the right tone, you might be psychologically fit, but now you're not effectively communicating. So it's a really big dichotomy. It's a strange balance of all these elements, and that's what my podcast is. But how do you articulate that? How do you actually express that? You see what I'm saying? So one of the things I'm going to do as a test is I'm going to label, and if you have any suggestions, just let me know. Just email me, you know? I also would love to have, well, maybe, you know, I was going to say I would love to have guests on and interview them and stuff like that, but I don't want to do that. I don't do that at all, actually, you know, so forget that. You know, sometimes when you say an idea out loud, you really get, I don't want to say interview. That sounds, I hate that word. I really do, for a lot of reasons. But what I meant to say is, see, effectively communicating. That's why I always feel like, in my mind, like I always got to correct myself, because otherwise I'm always saying something wrong if it's not exactly what I want, down to the most specific, teeny tiniest detail, right? What I meant to say is I'd really love to have guests on and just conversate, just talk and chill. I love that format, that open format. But usually I do my show when I'm driving, so unless someone was driving or sitting shotgun beside me, probably wouldn't make that happen. Yeah, so back to what I was saying is I was thinking about labeling this one episode psychological warfare, Christian, soldier, comedian. And the reason why that last part is because I'm a Christian. I'm always imperfect and I'm always having different, I don't like saying struggles, but I'm always doing things that are wrong, that I should not be doing. But that's part of being imperfect. But I still hate. I always strive to be better in comedy. Always strive to be a better Christian. I always strive to be just better at everything, right? But it's the only things that I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about my faith. And I'm also passionate about comedy. And I'm also passionate about being a soldier. You know? I really don't like how that term soldier is used, is like a passive term of being like, oh, I'm a warrior. No, anybody can say they're a soldier, okay? Enlist, serve, should you, for whatever reason, have the full function and are good to go to enlist, and you don't, okay, I have no sympathy. But if there's some stupid reason that the government won't let you sign up, you're off the hook. But for those 99% of almost everyone else that is eligible, that chooses not to, and now I'm choosing like a subgroup, you know what I mean? No sympathy. You're like, oh, I'm busy. A lot of people are busy. Oh, I don't want to give up my weekends. I don't want to deploy. I get it. Okay, so stop calling yourself a soldier. But anyway, but that's part of my work ethic. That's part of who I am. That's part of my spirit. You know, I'm very proud about my work ethic, and that derives from my warrior spirit and being an actual soldier, okay, serving and whatnot. And that mindset is part of what carries me through to everything else. And I'm also a comedian. I have my relentless work ethic through being a soldier, my faith, my constant back and forth of feelings and everything else. And it's just, it's always a balancing act, so to speak, you know? So I figured, as complicated as that is, if I could just summarize it in as few words as possible, that would be it. you know, and I feel like that might be a good name and something that people can attract to, because I feel like by having a name that can divide different subgroups and people can be like, oh, I'm this, but I'm not that. Okay, well, this is for you. I'm this and I'm not that, or I'm that and I'm not this. I feel like, and also calling it psychological warfare, identifying the internal psychological battle, or maybe not battle, but continuous battle, for lack of better words, right? Whether it is internal decision making, getting over hump psychologically, communication, stand-up comedy, how you treat your girlfriend, your wife, and stuff like that. All those constant like balancing acts that you do in multiple facets of your life and whatnot. I feel like it's a great title, okay? But I am highlighting the fact that I'm a comedian, and all of this comes to a driving point, and the top of that point, okay? And I'm not saying above being a Christian, I'm just saying it. The driving force of all this is to be a professional comedian. That's it. There's no, there's no such thing as retiring on who you are, or yourself naturally, right? And with that being mentioned, the thing that makes, here's an example. The thing that makes a special forces soldier operator so special, it's not their agility and their strength and their speed, it's the strength of their mind, because the mind literally takes the body farther. You can be the most in-shape professional athlete, and somebody that is mentally prepared will always have an edge. Will always have an edge on that individual, or individuals. They may have every other category perfect, okay? But when the big lights hit them on the baseball field, that's when they have to perform. And that starts mentally. You win the mental battle, you'll always win the physical one. You're strong mentally, your body will always catch up. But the mental is that driving force. And I actually told someone that the other day. So anyway, but that's just me. And that's what this is about. So anyway, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. We'll see what the stats look like, and after further decision-making review and so forth and so on, as far as changing it, keeping it a loose but tight translation, and specific enough but broad enough to funnel down everything leading to me being a professional comedian. And I can't wait to get on stage, and I'm about to freak out because I want to do it so bad. Get on stage again, and it's just so much fun. It's the best. I love it, etc., etc. So with that being mentioned, I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.